How's everyone doing today? Well, today I need to do a voiceover since my mics weren't working. Anyways, today I'm going to show you guys how to make soap and all the equipment here that you need to make your soap with. First thing you need is a pot that is dedicated just for making soap, as you use lye and you don't want that to come in contact with any food, just because it's not safe. So I have a separate pot for that. Got my scale to weigh out my ingredients. I also have a hand mixer here, so when you have all your ingredients together you can mix it up. And then rubber gloves, so if you don't have a splashback, a mask so you're not breathing in fumes. I've got my soap molds there, some safety glasses. I'm just using my regular reading glasses because I'm blind now. And then as well I have there's soap molds there. This batch usually does 2, and I have, what else? Let's see what I'm holding up here. Today I'm doing some mica, first time coloring soap, so I'm trying that out, and some essential oils, and we have some lavender I'll be putting on top as I'm making a lavender soap. And then we also have my recipe there, which I will need to get the ingredients here and read them out to you. So the ingredients are, this is for 1 bar soap. It's 7.9 ounces of water, but I'm using our Jersey milk for that instead. And then lye, 3.25 ounces of lye. And then essential oils, it says 0.64, but I just put in whatever I feel like is needed. And then as well, coconut oil, 12.47 ounces. Cocoa butter, 3.12 ounces. Olive oil, 5.19 ounces as well. And then we will be mixing those together. You add your lye to your ice or your water. In our case, it's the frozen Jersey milk. And if you do the opposite way, you could have problems with it. I guess they say, I don't know if it's exploding, but it could do a chemical reaction. So you always add your lye to your liquid or your ice if you do ice water or Jersey milk. In our case, so it's pretty straightforward. And then as well, we also use cornstarch when we add essential oils to our soap. It holds the scent a little longer than if you don't use it. And just maybe like a tablespoon of that. And what else do we use here? So there's the cornstarch there. So I'm a little bit out of order since I'm just doing a voiceover. And that helps quite well. And then I've got a container there that I'll be adding my mica to, with a little bit of soap once we've hit trace, and mix it up, and then I'll layer it into the soap molds, so we're gonna have some layered colors. So we'll get started here and weighing things out. So first things I usually do is weigh out the oils, which I've done already. So like your cocoa butter and your your coconut oil, you melt it on the stove. Then I usually add my olive oil to that just so it cools down while I'm doing this process. So I'm putting on my frozen Jersey milk there into the pot. So we're weighing it out to our weight we have, and once we get that weight, we will get our lye measured out. Pretty sure I measured that out previously as well, so it's ready to go. So I'm just getting that put away, and then I have a separate spatula as well that I use for mixing. It's dedicated just for my soap, so that I don't contaminate any food or anything. So when I put things away, everything goes into the pot, and I put it downstairs where it's safe and no one will be able to touch it and use it for food. So there's oils there that I've melted down, and I've had them sitting aside for a few minutes now. If your oil's too hot, when your lye mixture is too hot, when you add them together and pour into your molds, it can crack and start boiling over. So you should let it sit down for a while to cool down. If not, you can always stick it in your freezer once you've poured your soap. Right now it's winter time, so I stick it outside for about half an hour just to cool it down because it's really hot with the lye. So I'll get my mask on here so I'm not bringing any of the lye fumes, and I'll use my reading glasses, my safety glasses, and pop on my beautiful dollar store gloves that are too small for me. And that just helps prevent any splashback when I'm stirring in the lye with the soap, or basically the lye in with Jersey milk there. And so I just pour it on top there and get it all in. And it's quite a quick reaction. It takes a few minutes for it to melt down, but you'll see here in a minute once I adjust the camera here what it looks like. So I just start off slowly stirring, mixing it in slowly. Alright, so you see here I've got the frozen milk. I've sped up the clip just so it's not going to be like a 10-minute watch. So I'm just stirring in my lye in the milk. It's bigger chunks I have today, which is okay because it's keeps it cooler a little longer. We have used straight up just milk from the fridge before, but I find with the sugars in the milk, because we have a high fat content with our Jersey milk, that it does caramelize it quite quickly and it goes a bright orange. So I like using the frozen milk. It just helps to keep it a bit cooler and not overheat as quickly. So we'll just keep this mixing, and then we'll come back once it has melted down to its form that we need. As you can see here, it's almost melted the milk now with the lye. It's going fairly quick now. So I'm just tipping the pot up on the side just so I can get it in mixed a little quicker. It's a little, you can do it either way, but this way just a lot more work. This way you can just get more liquid to the bottom because it's a smaller batch. And then we'll keep mixing, and it's getting close now. So now that we've jumped ahead a wee bit here, it's pretty much fully melted the milk there. A few little chunks left that I'm just mixing around there, and there we go. Should be ready in about a minute now. So now that everything's melted together there, I'm going to add our oils, and this time we're actually trying some sunflower oil instead of olive oil. It's a bit cheaper. And so I've got my sunflower oil mixed in there with my cocoa butter and our coconut oil. Coconut oil gives a nice hard firm finish. I made another batch prior to that with a new recipe with just sunflower oil and coconut oil, and it was not very solid. It's taken a few days for it to solidify up. So now what you're going to do, you're going to take your hand mixer here, and we're going to mix it until it comes to trace. Basically what trace is, once you lift your blender out and the mixture just drips off, or you can shake it off, that's trace. You don't want it dripping off really quickly, just kind of like what kind of consistency can I say, just you know, like kind of like not a whipped cream, but almost like whipped cream when it's fully whipped. So it takes a few minutes. I find with the sunflower oil we use, it took a lot longer, but usually it takes me about 5 to 8 minutes if I'm using the olive oil instead of the sunflower oil. So we'll just keep mixing here until it comes to trace. So you just saw that I lifted up the blender and it's still dripping off a bit too much, so you need to keep going. It's getting close, but like I said, it takes a bit longer with the new oil we're trying out. So usually I stir it around and mix it around. Sometimes I lift the pot on the side, but you can tell it's getting a little thicker on the side there. So that's trace right about there for the most part. When it starts coating the blender there, you can see it's not just coming right off. That's about what you want for consistency. So now I'm just pouring some into the glass dish there that I'm going to mix some mica in. So it's the first time doing this, and I think I used a little too little mica, but it's okay. First time, it's worth experimenting. So next time I would use a lot more micas. Generally, we don't color our soaps, but we want to just add some flair to them a bit, just to see if we can attract more attention to our soaps. And the micas are all naturals too, so they're not chemical. Our soaps are all natural stuff. We don't use any scents except for the essential oils, which are pure. We've used we've used other people's soap in the past, and they've got the fake fragrances, and it irritates your skin, and can't stand the smell of it. It makes us kind of gag. So we'll mix this up, and then we'll come back in a minute here once we have it mixed in. So I decided I was going to add more mica. It wasn't quite purple enough for me, and I believe that the soap mixture is still pretty hot, so it's changing the color. It's almost cooking the mica, so it's a lot darker, bland purple, not as vibrant that I was hoping it was going to be, but that is a learning experience. So I think our friend told us she uses 10 grams of mica per bar, so I will remember that for next time. But other than that, it worked out alright. We will see the finished product at the end of the video and how it looks. Alright, so I've got molds here ready to go. Usually our other recipe, it firms up a lot quicker, so I'm faster with getting the soap poured into the molds, but today I left it not as, I didn't go as thick as normal, just because I knew I would be letting it sit for a few minutes while I rushed around trying to get this mica mixed in. But I just filled the molds halfway. I am pouring in the mixture with the mica in there, and then try to get as much in as possible. I probably should have grabbed my spatula for that, not a spoon. So I didn't mix as much in as I should have. I probably should have done double that for each mold, so that I would have a better layer. And I probably should have scraped the mixture out as well, but now I just gotta wash my hands off because I got it all over myself and things are getting slippery. So now I'm gonna dump the rest of the soap on top there, and then I use a spatula there to scrape all the residue out of the pot and into the soap mold, because it's quite a bit in there. So I just make sure, like I was saying, to get it all in there. You get every last drop of soap out of the container, and then it just tops up your dishes there. And I think I was actually going to scrape some more of the mica mixture on top as well. So just get that the rest of the soap out there. Every little drop counts here. So there we go, I've got that done. So now I'm going to take the other container there, and I'm just going to scrape it all out and throw some more on top, so we have some coloring on the top as well, and just drizzle it all the way down. So like I said, this is the first time doing the colors, so it was an experiment to see how it would work out. And I find sometimes you need to work a little quicker with this bar, with the soap stuff, if you're using another recipe with harder. I'm just taking the molds and shaking them to get everything leveled out, and I'm just taking my spoon and just dragging it through the soap just to make some cool little designs. I was hoping it was going to spread it out in the middle a lot more, but as you will see in the final product, it did not do what I was hoping to do, but nonetheless it's all cool. So making some cool little stripes there like you can see on a dessert. And then once that's done, we'll get our little lavender drops or lavender buds that I saved from our garden, and we'll add it to the top. I'm just mixing up really well there and hopefully get it all mixed up thoroughly in there. Okay. So here I'm taking our lavender buds from our garden that I saved this year. First time growing lavender. We got some plants from a friend and they worked out pretty good. So we're seeing the buds and the fragrance from them were super strong, just like the day they were growing. Didn't lose any of the scent at all. So I'm just sprinkling it around a little bit, and then making sure we have lots of cool little buds on top, so it gives a bit of texture, and then just stands out from other soap that other people are doing. And then as well, it adds a little bit more of the lavender smell too. So it's a good sized bag that I got. And then I'm just going to grab a spoon there quickly and just pat down the lavender so that it sets into the soap, so that we're not losing any when we cut it. And then from this point we will let it sit and cure for 24 hours. And after 24 hours we'll come back and we'll cut the soap up. You can see that process. Alright, we're back the next day with the soap here. It's looking good. So there's a few different ways you can cut your soap. You can get it at one of those really expensive wire cutters with like, I think 12 or 13 wires on it. And it's just like a press, and you just press it down and it cuts it all evenly, nicely. I haven't got to that point where I want to buy one yet. Well, I do, but they're like $200 or $300. So we've just got this box here. It's got a few numbers lined up here. I got mine set at 2.5 inches. That seems to be the good thickness from our soap, and it usually gets, I think, about 10 bars per brick. And all you need is like a baker's scraper here to cut with. And so what we do, we're going to pop it out of the mold here. It's nice with the silicone molds, they come out nice and easily. Just peel it back. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're just going to pop it in the mold here, or into the block. Let's take it between here. Cut it down. And there we go. There's a bar of soap. So we'll go through. It's not as, I guess I could probably use more color in it. It's not as much as I was hoping for, but it's the first time doing it with the coloring. And the one thing I don't like about our cutting block here is you don't really get the perfect even cuts, because this moves a bit and the soap slides out a wee bit. Gets cut on an angle. It's really hard to get a straight cut straight down. So yeah, the bar's a bit smaller than, well, they're alright. We sell ours for $8 a piece, which I think is a fairly fair price for the cost of the oils and everything. So as I'm going down the bar, definitely should have put some more coloring in the middle. Did not get as much as I was hoping. We'll see what the other bar looks like once I cut that open. So I'll know for next time I'll have to add a lot more coloring to it. This should be the last cut of this one here. So now once they're cut, they need to be cured for 4 weeks before you can use them. So yeah, see the last piece is pretty thin. And they kind of get funky sizes sometimes, so it's really hard to get them how I like them. Alright, so I'll cut up the next part quickly, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the inside once I get it cut up here. So this one was the same way, in the middle. Not a whole lot. And definitely I need to add more mica to it. So what happens was coloring, because the lights in the soap is pretty warm still, I believe it cooks the color out of it a bit, changes the color of it, so it's not the purple I was hoping for. but that's okay. It looks more like a rustic soap bar instead of like those highly processed, colorful, fake looking soaps. So yeah, there's not much design in the middle there. So now we'll know for next time what we have to do. And one more cut here. So the last ones are pretty nice actually. A little bit of nice design there. So we got 2, 4, 6, 21 bars out of that. So that's not too bad. And then less scrap for us to use up. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that on how to make your Jersey milk soap at home if you're using milk. Super easy. It's way better than any store-bought stuff. It lasts a lot longer and doesn't dry your skin out. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you out there. Have a great day.